How many people are afraid? How many people have a tangible fear or phobia? You have a tangible fear or phobia? Hands up. Because, I like the way that we ended. Cobams said, don't leave this conference to go to another conference, and you're still afraid. So I'm going to be practically dealing with your fears and your phobias at the end of my presentation. Is that okay? So I will guarantee that you will not leave this conference with that fear or that phobia. But I may need to borrow the person that is sat next to you. So if you're afraid again, hands up. Okay. More people are afraid now. Less? Oh, you're afraid of being cured of your phobia. Wow. All right, so, I checked and I did a bit of some research, and I found out that the instruction, fear not, is found 365 times in the Bible. Fear not is found 365 times in the Bible. Now, God treats the issue of fear very seriously, to such an extent that he expects you to hear it once a day for the rest of the year. So there's a fear not every day for 1 year. Other words associated with fear not in the Bible is do not be afraid. Do not fear. Be not afraid. I personally believe that fear only lives in the past, and fear only also lives in the future. But fear never lives today. Now, that places a lot of responsibility upon you to live in the now. The people that are often afraid are the people that live in yesterday or the people that live in tomorrow. Fear often comes in different shapes, forms, and sizes. But the problem with fear is the size that we allocate to fear and the amount of time that we give it, the amount of time that we use and focus to processing our fears. The picture of ourselves that we have is also a major problem. What exactly fear or that particular fear means to us is very important and can be overwhelming. Changing your perception about fear is a major key to overcoming your fear. Your fear may therefore be a fear of spiders. It may be a fear of heights. It may be a fear of animals. It may be a fear of needles, cockroaches, bugs, elevators, space. But whatever your fears may be, I found from my experience in the last 10 years as a life, mind, emotions, and behavioral change coach and psychotherapist, that fear can stop you in your tracks. Fear is faith. Did you hear what I said? Fear is faith. But it is having faith in the negative. Fear is a belief in something. Fear needs your faith to work. So why should you waste your fear? Why should you waste your faith? Why should you waste your belief? Instead, why don't you believe in the positive? Instead, why don't you convert your fear into positive faith? Don't you know that you are the one that actually empowers the fears to taunt you? Fear can paralyze you. Fear can make you dysfunctional. Fear isolates people. When fear attacks you, you often feel alone. No one else can possibly understand how powerful your fears are but you. It may not make sense to other people, but this fear is real to you. Don't let anyone, therefore, tell you that your fears are not real, because your fears are real to you. The way you see the problem is actually the problem. Perception is stronger than reality. And therefore, to conquer your fears, you must own your fears. You must understand your fears. Because fear really and truly is a friend. And for fear to be your friend, you must develop the ability and the awareness to listen to it. Because fear has a message, and you must have the ability to heed to the message of fear. Being in denial of fears leads to being incapacitated by them. Becoming embarrassed by your fears will only lead to even more fear in your life. For example, if you have the fear of rejection, you simply attract more rejection. And this begins to seem like more people that are around you are rejecting you and they don't like you. If you, for example, have the fear of failure, then you attract more records of failure, and it seems like you can't seem to get anything right. Fear can also pose as a powerful enemy. So you need to develop a relationship with a powerful ally for you to overcome your fears and for you to convert those fears into your friends. This is simply based on how you see. Do you see a half full glass or do you see a half empty glass? To conquer fear, you must simply change your perception. The truth is that there is someone that can help you. That person is the most powerful ally that can partner with you to overcome your fear faster than anybody else. Guess who? You. You need your faith, you need your ability and your history of other achievements. You need positive self-talk. You need to be able to bring yourself to confront your fears, to conquer them, to discover the little you who is really afraid. Because I found out from a lot of my experiences that the 31-year-old, the 40-year-old, the 50-year-old, the 60-year-old is not the one that is afraid. It's the 7-year-old version of you. It's the 4-year-old version of you. It's the 11-year-old version of you that was traumatized. And by virtue of that, developed a memory of that and anchored every corresponding similar situation to that your first experience. So, you know what? You need to wake up. You need to grow up. And so, what are you really afraid of? What event triggered this fear in your past? How old were you then? You need to understand that fear operates on a spectrum. It starts with worry, then it moves to nervousness, then it transcends to anxiety, fear, panic, terror, and then ultimately it ends up as a phobia. If it's a major phobia and you've been trying all your life, then help has come. You need a professional that is highly skilled to help you overcome phobias. Now, I'm going to share some medical implications, some medical conditions, some medical consequences of fear, anxiety, panic attacks, and phobia. Fear and anxiety is associated with 1,400 physical and chemical stress reactions and activates more than 30 different hormones and neurotransmitters. Two major ones are epinephrine, that we generally call adrenaline, and cortisol. These two chemicals have the following effects on you when it is in excess in your body. Number one, diminished immunity. This makes you vulnerable to wider ranges of disease. Number two, reduction of glucose utilization, a factor in diabetes and weight control. Number three, increased bone loss. And this is as a result of depletion of calcium, magnesium, and potassium. Number four, increased fat accumulation. Number five, impaired memory and learning. Number six, brain cell destruction. Number seven, continuous stress, leading to chronic stress, which becomes deadly stress. Fear? That's right. Anxiety? That's right. Phobia? That's right. Number eight, heart and vascular problems such as hypertension, palpitation, dizziness, lightheadedness, mitral valve prolapses. These are all consequences of prolonged fear, phobias, worry, and anxiety. Number 9, gastrointestinal problems such as ulcers, gastritis, heartburns, indigestion, constipation, diarrhea, IBS that we call irritable bowel syndromes, inflammatory bowel diseases. Number 10, stress, phobias, anxiety and worry causes headaches, migraines, tension headaches. Number 11, it produces skin conditions such as eczema, hives, and acne. Remember, ladies, when you are stressed, you break out in what? Pimples. Number 12, chronic prostasis. Number 13, chronic and recurrent yeast infections. Number 14, lower progesterone and testosterone levels. Fear is therefore at the heart of many physical disease, as you have heard. You're not a victim to disease. It's a two-part word. Dis-ease simply means a lack of ease. When you are afraid, when you have a phobia, when you worry, you are in a state of lack of ease. You unconsciously create 95% of the disease that you suffer from. The oldest and strongest emotion known to mankind is fear. The oldest and strongest fear known to mankind is the fear of the unknown. So, what is the psychological implication or the psychological explanation or the psychology of fear? What is the message? What is the purpose? And what is the need of fear? The message of fear simply has come to tell you to protect yourself and to protect yourself for something. What is the need in there? You have a need for safety. According to Dale Carnegie, do the thing you fear to do and keep doing it. That is the quickest and surest way ever yet discovered to conquer fear. I love Beyonce's quote. And she says, what does fear taste like? Guess what? Success. She says, I have accomplished nothing without a taste of fear in my mouth. So, in ending, fear is in the mind. It runs only as deep as your mind allows it. 1 John 4:18 says that there is no fear in love, but perfect love eliminates any fear, because fear torments. He that lives in fear doesn't live in perfect love. To conquer fear, you must be interested in it. You must interrogate it. You must be curious about it. And this is simply termed bravery.